All right. Hey, Lo, you want to take me down just a notch? I got a ring going on there. How's that sound? Pretty good. Okay. Cool. Are you ready for this? I am ready. I have been ready for months. Yeah, it's like, yeah. I'm ready. Okay. Well, let's get started. And what we're going to do is, Haya, will you pass these out? Who knows what a syllabus is? All right, I got one. What is a syllabus? It's your marching orders, right? It tells you what the class is going to be about, all the things about the class, everything that you're going to need to know. And, hi, she needs one. There's 2 pages there. Now this is going to tell you everything that we're doing. Okay, the very first part on there is going to have, let's see, I got one right here for myself. Okay, it's got January through July. You see that? Okay, so what we're doing with that, January through July, is each month we're going to have a new segment on this program. Not only are we going to be doing one Sunday, the first 2 are going to be on Sabbath, and the next ones are going to be on a Sunday. So it'll be 10 a.m. to whenever. Okay, I can stay here all day. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some dates, and you're going to write them down on this paper that corresponds to the month that we're talking about. Okay? The only reason I apologize that I don't have it already on your syllabus is because my phone wouldn't talk to my laptop or my tablet. Okay? I couldn't get it to work. One program didn't like the other one. Okay, so here we go. Everybody have a pen? Everybody awake? Huh? You are? Are you awake on there? Lee, are you awake? All right. If I hear you snoring, dude, I'm going to kick the phone. Oh, I can't do that. It's Logan's. All right. We're almost ready. Yes?
Does everybody have their notebooks?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Just
not.
want to make sure.
No, I know about it. I've got them here. I haven't given it to them yet. Okay. Are we ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. All right. Obviously, we're going to be here today at 5 p.m., right? All right, in February, it will be at 5 p.m. That is a Sabbath. Okay, that's February 5th. Okay, at 5 p.m. Now, what we're going to be doing in March is a little bit different. Okay, we're switching days. So we're going from Sabbath to Sunday. And in March, it's going to be March 6th. And it's going to be I'm scheduling from 10 a.m. to 2. Okay? Now, also in March, on March 20th, I'm going to be here at 10 a.m. And if you want to be here at 10 a.m., you can. If there's something so far in the program that you want to work on more, you want more dirt time, that's what I call it. When you're out there, you're having dirt time. That's what it's going to be for. It's more for you. I can do one-on-one that way, and it's going to be a whole lot better. So that would be March 20th. Now in April 6th is 10 a.m. to 2, and then April 17th is our dirt time, 10 to 2. Tell me if I'm going fast. What? March 6th from 10 to 2, and then March 20th So there's 2 dates every month. So in April, that's going to be April 6th, okay, 10 to 2. And then April 17th, dirt time, 10 to 2. March 1st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Or excuse me, May 1st, yes. April Fools. Nothing. Long day. All right, so anyways, May 1st, 10 to 2. And then May 15th is dirt time, 10 to 2. June, we're looking at June 5th, 10 to 2. June 19th, dirt time, 10 to 2. And then in July, there will be no more classes. That's graduation day. We go camping. Okay? So that's the part about the syllabus that I needed to cover with you right away, was times and dates. Now, the other thing is, if you go on your syllabus there, and you take a look down there, do you see a word that says deliverables on the first page? Do you know what a deliverable is? That means something you need to accomplish. Okay, so you're going to be able to set up a tarp or a lean-to and a plow point. Okay, then there's other little things that we're going to have here. And those are the deliverables. You'll be able to go over that later on because you're taking this with you. And then we have projects that we're going to do. So some of them are pretty simple, like we're going to carve a tent stake. You need to learn how to do that. Some simple knots. Yes, sir. What's a tent stake? Tent. Stake. A tent stake, yeah, you know. Up in Jersey. No. Anyways, knots. There's like 7 different knots that we're going to learn how to do. It's not hard because they all work off of the same basic overhand knot. So I'm not worried about that. Down in the appendix, we have the 10 C's of survivability. Thank you, Dave Canterbury. Okay, and then after that, we have the kit itself. Now, this is kind of a bare bones style kit. In other words, it's minimalist. Okay, but you can survive with this kit. So we're going to work at trying to get that put together. Now, when I was 8 years old is when I started going camping. Actually, 7. But by the time I was 8 years old, I went camping with another group of guys at the church that we were going to at that time. And I had my little kit with me. I carried it everywhere, you know. It's like, this is my gear, you know. I started out as a gear junkie at 8 years old. So it hasn't gotten any better, has it, Elaine? No. It's gotten worse. Now I have lots of gear. So, anyways, with that said, let's go ahead and let's get into this presentation. All right, so I'm going to use my glasses for this one because I can actually read off of a screen now. Okay, this is my survival seminar. Okay, I've done this quite a bit. I've done a lot of different places. I went to South America in 2014 and taught bush pilots how to survive down there. That was my first really big start in teaching as far as that. I've been teaching with Pathfinders since 95, so I've done this a little bit. I got a couple of things that I have done. So let's talk about the definition of survival. The definition of survival is to continue to live or exist in spite of an experience or condition. Okay, in other words, I'm not dying, you know, not going to die. So how do we do that? We gain some skills. Okay, so this is the definition. Because you're going to live through this, right? What are we going to do? We're going to live. We're going to survive, okay? And I'm going to teach you the difference between surviving and thriving because there's a big difference, okay? Personally, surviving is horrible. I mean, it's just making it, you know? Why do that when you can learn to wilderness live? You can thrive out there. You go out there and you get comfortable, okay? So a survivor is one who will not accept defeat. So how do I survive in the wilderness? What about urban survival after a disaster or something? What does it take to stay alive? That's the question, right? What's it take? Things can happen every day that can potentially turn into a survival situation. You can have hurricanes, floods, earthquakes, different man-made disasters, unfortunately. And, even little things, like you could be out on a backpacking trip or fishing or hunting, and something can go wrong. There's been times where people have gotten out of the car, they're going to go up to the top of the mountain, have a look-see, come back down. 76 degrees when they went up. They're in flip-flops and shorts. By the time they get to the top of the mountain, weather's moving in. Okay, now it's down 45 degrees and getting cold, and rain's coming in. And they couldn't find the trail to get back down to the car. Instant survival scenario. Okay? What do you think they should have had? Hiking shoes. They should have been prepared for things that you can't see. Okay, that's what we do. We prepare for things. By learning the necessary skills, what you have been a survival situation can now be nothing more than an unplanned camping trip. I've had quite a few unplanned camping trips. Okay, and it's way better than having to survive this. It's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to live? I want a new burger, or I want some fries. All right. Survival essentials. Okay, pay attention on this one. Survival essentials. Okay, number one. What's number one on the screen? Your brain. Okay, your brain is your biggest friend. Okay, next to Jesus. Your brain is your biggest friend, because with that we can think things through. Okay? Number 2, first aid supplies. Number 3, a tarp, plastic bags, and cordage. This doesn't make any sense to you right now. That's okay. It will. Okay? Number 4, fire starter. Number 5, signals. Number 6, water and food. Stephen's eyes perked up on that one. Food? Did you say food? Yes, Elaine. Cordage. Anybody?
Sounds like the verb of cord.
It's rope. Okay? Rope, string, any type of cordage. Okay? Survival strategy. Good question, Elaine. Don't panic. Sounds like a no-brainer, right? What's the first thing somebody does when they think they're lost? They lose their mind, okay? They start heading for any direction that they can. And usually it's the wrong direction. So don't panic. Number 2, treat injuries immediately. So if somebody hurt themselves, let's get that fixed up and then figure out what we're going to do. Find shelter and create a signal. Those are important things. Once you figure out that you're lost, don't walk any farther. If you did what I teach you to do, you're going to have told somebody where you are. When you don't show up at home, they're going to come looking for you. If you stay where you are, they have a better chance of finding you than you walking 6 miles in the wrong direction and they don't know where you're at, because you weren't supposed to be there anyways. So, find shelter and create a signal. Conserve energy. Does that mean that we wander for hours looking for the trail? That's not conserving, is it? Water and food. You need water and food. You should have them in your pack, even a little bitty amount. I mean, you can go a long time if you're rationing your water and your food out. Okay, the survival priority list. Okay, and I put this up here like that because first aid. If you're hurt, you need to fix it. Okay, if a person in your party is hurt, you need to fix that. Get that fixed right away. If they're bleeding out, they're not going to help you if they die. Okay, stop the bleeding. Yes.
Well, if somebody gets an infection, you might have a medical emergency on top of your survival
Okay, but right now let's take this and condense it down to the day. Am I going to die today from this infection? Am I going to get an infection? Maybe by this. It's going to take a day or so for this to develop. Hopefully by then we're out and I can get medical attention. Okay, so you got to learn to prioritize even medical emergencies. Okay, so number 2 on that is shelter. Shelter is critical, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Fire, signal, and this is providing that you want to get found. Sometimes we might take off out there and I don't want anybody to find me, so I'm not going to be putting a signal up. We'll talk about that at another time too. Number 5, water, and number 6 is food. Okay, now, how do we come about these things? We come about these things by the rule of 3s. Okay, and the rule of 3s are really easy. And it says you won't last 3 seconds if you panic. Okay, you could run this way and run into a tree and poke it right through your head, you know. You're dead. Okay, you could run off a cliff. You could do anything stupid and panic and die. You could have a panic attack and die. Heart attack, boom. All right, 3 minutes without oxygen. Okay, that's pretty, after 3 minutes, I'm looking for a new breath of air, you know? I kind of like that breathing thing. 3 hours in extreme weather without shelter. Okay, and we're going to talk more about what shelter really is. But 3 hours, and we're going to talk about why only 3 hours. 3 days without water and 3 weeks without food. I know that it sounds like a long time to go without food, but if you don't have water, you can't eat. Because if you eat and you don't have water, you have no way to digest that food, and you're going to cause yourself some problems way quicker. So it's better off not to eat, but find a water source. Shelter. Some may think that their clothing, or some may not think about their clothing as shelter, but in fact, it's your first line of defense against the elements. So what we have on matters, okay? Do you put your shorts on and flip-flops and head out like today? We need to talk. So anyways, no, most people put a coat on, okay? And they put shoes on their feet. They put socks on. You know, they've got a hoodie or a jacket or a hat or some gloves. That makes sense because it's cold outside. And we don't like to be cold, do we? That's why we have heat in our building. So, Hollywood and survival. Naked and afraid. Not a good idea. Okay? You want your clothes on when you're out there trying to survive. Okay? Don't be giving them up. Not a good plan. Having proper clothing could really save your life. Because if you're out there and you don't have any skills, but you have proper clothing on for the weather, pretty much you might make it. Yes?
Believe it or not, that's a gym 3 years ago.
Hi, you're not supposed to tell those things. Anyways, it's when I had hair. Okay, so who can tell me what this picture is? What is this picture? Yes, it is my shelter. Okay, so what kind of a shelter is that? It's a tarp. Very good. That's a decent answer. Okay, it's a tarp shelter. Now that configuration is called a plow point. We're going to learn how to set those up. You can set one of those up in less than 5 minutes. When I worked at Kimball Camp and I was running 4 survival classes a day. Okay, when I was doing that, kids were putting these shelters up in less than 2 minutes. Bam, done. It's a real simple thing. There's 5 components. You've got something to tie it up to the tree with, either a bungee cord or a strap. You've got the tarp, and you got 3 stakes. That's it. Real easy peasy. Tie it to the tree, stake it to the ground, stake out the wings. You're good to go. You got a plow point shelter. You are out of the weather. Okay? So, this is not Jim. This is a future Hyatt. Oh. Anyways, so this guy's got a big tarp out there. He's got it set up. He's also got on the inside, he's got a bug net. Pretty smart idea if you're living in summertime, right? You might want to have a bug net. So that's pretty good shelter. This is called a lean-to configuration, and actually this one has a little roof over the front. So they didn't utilize all of their tarp on the angle, but they gave themselves a little bit of a watershed in there, which is not too bad. You can sit in front of one of these and have a fire out in front of you and be relatively okay. Now, is this going to be good for a torrential downpour of rain? No. Which one is going to be better, the plow point or this one? The plow point, you're going to get under it. It's covered on 3 sides. Now, when you set a tarp up like this, are you set it, which way is the wind blowing? To the back of the tarp, right? Okay, so how about this one? This is a classic A-frame. Now, this is good in bad weather, yes.
But the wind can go on the other side, can't they?
Yeah, wind can go through that thing. So, but if you had to, you could take this and drop it all the way to the ground, and then you crawl in this little space and try and stay dry. Don't use a really small tarp, okay? That's the big thing. People try to get away with too small a tarp. I'd rather carry a little bit more weight. So, why are we worried about clothing and shelter? Why are we worried about that? Okay, well, Jim's going to tell you. Thermal regulation. We are thermal regulated beings. Okay, God made us that way. What is our body temperature supposed to be, our core temp? Flip them. 98.6, okay? So 98.6 is where we're supposed to be doing well, okay? Now what happens if my temperature goes up to 106? That's right, I'm dead. I'm going to be brain dead at 107 for sure, because all of my little brain's cooking up there in my head. Now, on the other spectrum, how low can I go? Okay, to what temperature can my core temp start dropping before I'm noticing problems? Okay, so it says we must maintain a core temp of 98.6, not too hot, not too cold. Okay, and if I get down below 95 degrees on my core temp, I start getting a 94, I start getting into problems. I have hypothermia coming on. Okay, and that means that my body's starting to shut down. I'm going to start shutting down I'm not going to feel my fingers, I'm not going to feel my toes. It shuts down all the extremities to keep the core warm. Pretty soon, you get down to 90, 89 degrees on your core temp, you're pretty much ready to cash out. You're not going to make it unless you can get reheated. Okay, so temperature is critical, and that's why we need shelter and fire. Okay, now this little thing on here is an Adventure Medical Kit bivvy. Okay, and what a bivvy is it's a bag. Okay, it's got plastic on the outside and this mylar on the inside, some kind of a foil, and it will reflect back 90% of the body heat that you're trying to give off. So if it goes out and back, you're going to hang on to it. Okay, you're going to stay warmer. So it's a good plan to have something along this line. Now this right here is a single person tent. Okay, I have one of these from Eureka, and there's not a whole lot of room inside there. I mean, you're not going to be doing any jumping jacks in this thing. Okay, it only stands about this high, but you crawl in it and you're dry. That's the big thing. Okay, now let's talk about this right here. This leads us right back into thermal regulation, and we have different ways to that we lose body heat. See the one right there where it's up on the top of his head, where it's just coming right out of his head? Okay, that's radiation. It's just radiating right out the top of your head. Now, we had a real good thing when Matt was at one of the Pathfinder events, and it was really getting cold, and he's kind of a hot guy. So, yeah, that said, I did say that. So, at any rate, his body temp is very warm, okay? He was standing over there. Everybody else was running for jackets and coats and blankets and everything else, and he's standing over there, man, I'm hot. But he's like steaming. All this stuff is coming up off of him. You can see the heat rising up off of his body. I'm like, whoa, dude. So, radiation. Okay, now, what about precipitation? That's rain. That's not even on there, right? Respiration. How about respiration? Anybody know what respiration is? We breathe. Okay? If we don't breathe, we got a problem. But when we do breathe, moisture comes out of our mouth. We lose body water throughout our mouth, and we give it off. We also give off heat with that. So we can lose heat through respiration. Now, evaporation. How does that work? What? Yeah, well, perspiration comes off first as sweat, and then we have evaporation. It comes off, hits the cold air, and bounces out. Okay, and then we don't have that anymore. How about the two main killers here? How about convection? Anybody know what that is? Cold air, that's right. Okay, as we are standing here, you ever go in the lake and then come out even when it's 88 degrees and feel cold? That's convection. The cold air is coming up, hitting you, grabbing the heat and sucking it away, and you are now cold feeling in 88 degree sunshine because the water did that for you. Now, how about conduction? That's right, that's right. Yes, look at the pictures because they're going to tell you where it's coming from. If I'm out there sitting on a cold ground, let's say it's snow out there, I'm sitting on the snow, how long do you think I'm going to keep my heat? Not very long, right? It's going to suck right outside of me. I'm going to be cold. I was hiking one time, and it was 78 degrees out, and we were going up a hill, and there was a big flat rock out there, and I laid down on this rock because I was hot. I was really hot, and this rock was really, really cold, and it felt good for a minute or two till it started sucking all the heat out of me, and I was actually starting to feel cold. 76, 78 degrees, I'm feeling cold. It's like, this is stupid, you know? Conduction, okay? It will get you every time. So when we go camping, we put something down on the ground. If we're going to sleep on the ground, we're going to put a ground mat down. We're going to put an air mattress down underneath us. We're going to stack stuff up so that we have insulation underneath us, okay? So that we insulate ourselves from that cold ground. Yes, Stephen?
So one time, I had gone out on the snow, and since we went inside, but I still wanted to be out there, but I was cold. So I just sat in the snow for like an hour. I came back inside, and then I got back to normal clothes, and I sat on the couch to watch TV, but it still felt like I was sitting in snow.
Yeah, because your body temperature dropped, okay, and that's not a good thing. Okay, another way to maintain your temperature is with fire, okay? Anybody get cold and they come up, stand up next to that fire and then go, oh man, this is awesome feeling. You know, you're doing one of these, you're doing one of these, you're doing one of these, you know. It's like, okay, let me get everything warm here that is now cold. I want to get by the fire. You ever been too close to that fire? Burns, don't it? Yeah. I remember one time where were we at? We were going down river, winter, kayaking. Anyways, we were all at our camp down there, and everybody was wet. My socks were wet. Here I am sitting in the snow, no socks, no shoes on. I got my sock on a stick, and I'm trying to roast it on the fire to get it dry. I burnt my sock. Not a good plan. The real thing to do, though, is prepare ahead of time. Bring 2 pair of socks.
That's like how we were at Aunt Jane's and you got me those boots, and I set them on the fire ring and they melted the toes of them.
Yeah. Yeah, having your feet too close to the fire is not a good idea. Feels good for a minute, but, you know. Okay, so my motto is I'm not a primitive kind of guy, okay? Haya loves these bow drill fires, okay? I mean, he loves them. I mean, he'd rather do that than anything. For me, if I'm going to rub 2 sticks together, I want to make sure one of them's going to be a match, okay? Yeah, I got my heat, okay? I got another story about that, but we won't tell that right now. This is your friend. What is that? It's a lighter. That's right. Lighters are your friend, okay? I would have 2 or 3 of them in my pack, okay? Because if one doesn't work, the other one might, okay? So, law of averages. How about this? Anybody know what that is? Ferrocerium rod. Yes, it's a sparker, okay? You rake that down there and sparks come off of that. When we get into the fire building aspect of this, it's going to be really fun because we're going to see what will take a spark and what won't, okay? This is another one of those things that you need to have in your little back pocket here. Vaseline Cottons. I've got a different take on this little thing. I call them fire tacos because they look like little teeny tiny tacos that are, and they are awesome because they burn for like 7 to 9 minutes in the wind. Okay, but this is great because you need surefire tinder. Okay, if you get out there and you're cold, you need a fire. You don't want to mess around with this fire. You got to have one now. And how are we going to do that? We're going to lay it a proper fire down, and we're going to fire it up with dry tinder that I brought with me. Okay, so water. New aspect. Okay, now we've talked about shelter and we talked about fire. Now we talk about water. This has got a plan. Shelter, fire, water, and food. That's the next one. That's the core 4. Those are the things that you need to survive. Yes, Wyatt? You could, but you could take anything you want, okay? You got to carry it. That's the thing. Weight is a lot because 5 pounds on my back is 25 pounds on my feet. It's like a 5 times ratio. It's what it feels like, okay? It's like, whoa, this is nasty. So, back to water. Water's good, right? We like water. Okay, drinking water at the correct time minimizes or maximizes the effect on the human body. So 2 glasses of water after waking up helps activate the internal organs. So if you need to activate those organs, drink down 2 glasses of water and it'll get it flowing. Okay, 1 glass of water 30 minutes before a meal helps you to digest. Not drinking water with your meal, but before your meal. You want to prep it. You want to allow your stomach to make this into a little bit more of dilution of acid. Okay, you got to have the acid. You start drinking when you're eating, and it dilutes out the acid, and it takes longer for it to digest. So, 1 glass of water before taking a bath or a shower helps to bring your blood pressure down. That was something I did not know before this presentation. 1 glass of water before going to bed avoids a stroke or a heart attack. So water is good for you, right? We need to drink a lot of it. I know Matt, he's like a wateraholic. This guy drinks a lot of water. He's usually got a gallon with him, yeah. So what's in your water? That's the big thing. What's in your water? Well, you're going to be a little surprised with this one. Yum! Does that not look like tasty water? when Micah and I went and did my water video for Wilderness Journey, we were looking at water that was a lot similar to this right here, and that's what we had to collect. So, yum, 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 water, water, water. What else is in your water? What kind of bird is that? It's a tern. Okay, that's a water bird. What do you think birds need to do before they take off and fly? Yes. They need to eliminate the weight that's in their body. If they have to, they will. They, boom, gone. Just like that. And guess where that goes? Puddle up, baby. It's water. Okay, now, you never know if you're looking at a stream or a river, what's upstream. This guy could be laying in that water. Yummy. I love my bacteria and protozoa in water. I filter them between my teeth. Yeah. No. This is not happening. You don't want this in your water. This is one drop of pond water. All of that in there is different little bacteria and life, okay? Things that are alive in that water. Now, what do you think would happen if you drank that? You'd get sick because those things would start acting within your body, and they're not good. God has not designed them to be in there. We need fresh water. Now, this water looks pretty good, right? Is it safe to drink? Come on, is it safe to drink? No. No open water is safe to drink. Okay, I don't care where you are, what's going on. If you don't see that spring bubbling up from the ground, where you know that it's fresh water coming up out of that spring, don't drink it. It's not safe. Yes, Wyatt? Pool water? If you like chemicals, yeah, I used to take care of a pool. Bromide is one that they use in public pools, or chlorine, and it's nasty stuff. I mean, what does it do to your skin? Okay, that's what it's going to do to the inside of you. Yes.
So if I have an open cup of water, I can't drink it. It has to have a cap on it.
Yes, Stephen. Yeah, that's right. No open water, buddy. You got to suck it through the straw that's in the glass, or not. Okay. So, water boils at what temperature? 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Very good. That's when water is at a rolling boil. Can you tell when water is at a boil? Tell by looking at it, right? Okay. Everything in the water is dead at 180 degrees Fahrenheit. So is that higher or lower than 212? Lower. Is this a homeschool kid? One that's not studying? You're supposed to be smarter than that. Okay, anyways, 180 is lower, a lot lower than 212. Okay, so if everything in the water is dead at 180 degrees, you are pretty sure that by 212, when you see it boil, it's all going to be gone, right? All the nasty critters are dead. No, you got to let it cool. Okay? Yeah, you're right. You are absolutely right. I mean, it's 212. That's going to be bad. Then you're going to need that first aid kit we talked about. Okay? So, stainless steel water bottles can be used to boil your water in. Okay? If it's stainless steel, single wall. Note, I'm having a little caveat in there. That means it's a little exception. Single wall stainless steel bottle. Not the double vacuum seal that's going to stay hot forever. Those will blow up. Okay, that little vapor wall, the little barrier between them, it will blow up. Okay, you will not be happy with those in a fire. But a single wall stainless steel container, you take the plastic cap off and put it in the fire, and I will show you how to put those in the fire and how to get them out of the fire without burning your little pinkies, okay? Because What?
What about the rest of your day? Just your pinkies?
You said the little pinky, she's asking about for us.
Your little pinkies. That was plural. Okay? In other words, all of them. Why?
You can always get your campfire, or not a campfire, your grill assets with your, I forget what they're called, I always wear that little grabby thingy where you take stuff off the grill. You could use one of those and like hold it up on fire.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Till your hand burns up because you're too close to the fire. You want to set it in there.
Or if it's like a metal that vulcanizes onto your hand and turns the fire.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. I mean, I like you, Wyatt. You think, okay? That's good. Thinkers survive, okay? So this is good. All right, so stainless steel water bottle. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, if we don't have this, or we have a different way of treating our water, anybody know what iodine is? Most people put it on cuts and scrapes, okay? And the little kids going, ow, ow, that hurts. You know, because it's not fun. You still do that, right? Okay, so, but if you take this tincture of iodine, which is 2%, it's not 100% iodine, and you add 5 drops to 32 ounces or 1 quart of water, and 10 drops if the water is cloudy, you need to wait 30 minutes before it cleans the water up. Okay, it's going to kill everything that's in there. So, what do you think drinking straight iodine is going to do for you? It's not going to be happening because it's going to be killing stuff in you. So you want to wait so this stuff will dissipate. Now the one cool thing is that you can do is add vitamin C to it. Vitamin C neutralizes iodine and makes it a whole lot better tasting. I hate this method because it's nasty tasting. I don't like nasty tasting water. I don't like chunks in my water. So, yes.
Can I just add that iodine is not a harmful substance to your body? It helps your thyroid and if you are iodine deficient, you should have iodine.
In a proper dosage. But if you're like drinking iodine water every day, pounding it down, you could get a little too much iodine in your system. Okay? This guy would like fall over with that much iodine. Okay, so bleach. Clorox bleach. What do you put on your clothes to make them white? Hey, yes, it's bleach. 10 drops at 1%. 1% chlorine bleach. And you wait 30 minutes. Okay? And that will, what's it going to taste like? Pool water. Nasty. So, is Jim going to recommend this method? No, not really. Okay, now this is portable agua, and it is iodine tablets. You take a quart, put 2 of them in there, and wait 30 minutes, and then put the other one in, which is vitamin C. Okay, it's the neutralizer. And so, with that, then your water's ready to drink. Again, you've got nasty taste in water. Okay? Now this is what they call a homemade water filter. Okay, you can take a piece of canvas or a pant leg, tie it up on the bottom, hang it from the tree, put all of this different layers of stuff in there, and then pour your water through it, and then put a pan down underneath. And that's what these guys are doing. That's what they teach you in the Marine Corps. Okay, and that's one way to filter out water. Yes, sir.
I heard that the Marine Corps would eat crayons.
That could be. I mean, those guys will eat anything. Yeah, they will eat a billy goat if that's what it takes.
That guy eats crayons. He has a tactical crayon.
Okay, so anyways, these guys are using that type of a filter in the field because it's readily available to them. This is what they can do to filter out their water. Hand pumps, okay, hand pumps are great, but they take a lot of time and effort to acquire the water. Okay, you're sitting there, and they don't pump real fast. Okay, it's not a gallon per minute, it's a ounce per minute, you know, type thing. So, not my recommended thing. I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that, I guess. You know, I never really thought about that. I don't like to work at this stuff, you know. I like my gravity filter. My gravity filter says I can go down there, scoop up some water, hang it in the tree, and then put a pot underneath it. I'll come back later and get my water, okay? I like to work smart, not harder, okay? So this is one way to do that. Now, here's another option. This is a Lifestraw. They sell these for about 20 bucks. Lifestraw filters out 1,000 liters or 264 gallons of water, and then it's like, throw it away. You're gonna spend another 20 bucks. Okay, so, but that's a lot of water. I mean, if you plan on a gallon a day for 1,000 days, that's a lot of days, okay? There's only 365 days in a year. So that's almost 3 years on that filter. Yes, Wyatt?
Measure the water you drink. Like, are you just gonna remember after how, like, 180 gallons? You just need to.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No, those are designed that I'm going to take it out, I'm going to use it, and after this season, I'm going to throw it away, and next year I'll get another one.
Generally, those type of filters, when they're too hard to suck the water through, that's when you need to replace them, because they're plugged out.
Once they're plugged, they're done. Okay, here we go. Mr. Happy down by the river, sucking water up out of his little Lifestraw. This is one way to do that. I think I would put it in a container and then take my container over and sit under the shade tree and drink my water. But that's just me, you know, Mr. Lazy. Okay, so drinking water. Now the Frontier straw is another one that's available. It's like it's right around 12 bucks. But it only filters up to 20 gallons of water, and it's for real emergencies, because this one doesn't kill viruses or anything like that. I mean, this is just taking the chunks out, making the water taste a little better, you know, maybe, you know, I don't know if it's Scripto, if it'll take that out or not. But at any rate, those are little protozoas that are in the water, some of those big things that were swimming in the water thing. But there's another guy sucking out of the stream. Again, I would go with a cup. So, what do we got here? A marshmallow and a fire. Yeah, that's a kid's dream, okay? What is that called? Shelter. Food, thank you. Okay, so it is a food source. Is it a good food source? No, it's terrible. Okay, it's like all sugar. That's why you see little kids over there with a campfire eating this thing, running over here, running into trees, you know, running over here, stepping on tents, you know. Yeah, let's sugar them up. This is a good thing. Okay, Cliff Bars. These are pretty good. They're not too bad. They're probably bad for you, but not as bad as some other things. But I like Cliff Bars. You know, when I'm hiking along, I like to eat some snacks so I can keep my calorie intake up. Because when I'm hiking, I usually burn about 5,000 calories a day. So we need to keep that up. Now, what happens if I take in 5,000 calories and I'm sitting on the couch? This happens, baby. Okay? You get fat, okay? I need to get out and hit the trails. So, but at any rate, these are calories. So if you start thinking about food as calories, what kind of foods can you eat that have a lot of calories in them? How about peanut butter? Peanut butter's it's good. I mean, couple jars of peanut butter a day and you're good to go. You got all the calories that you need.
And it gives you protein and stuff.
Yes.
You need animal crackers at Walmart with the peanut butter. Really.
Okay, we got a diehard over here. Okay, Cliff Bars come in a lot of different flavors, and that alleviates the boredom. I mean, if you go out there with one flavor and you're out there for 7 days and that's all you have is one flavor of Cliff Bar, by day 5 you're like, can I use this for bait? Let me find something else to eat, you know? Top ramen. Everybody likes ramen noodles, right? These are the lightest things that you can carry in your pack, okay? I mean, they're not good for you. Look at my wife, she's back there dying. She's hating on them. She hates on them really bad. She eats these other things, Thai noodles. Anyway, Thai noodles, yeah, those are good. Top ramen. Now these got some flavor to them. They also have a lot of sodium in them, okay, and a lot of other things in them. But they will keep you alive, okay? If you had a couple of these a day, you could keep moving, okay? Yeah. I mean, they'll get you through. Macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese. Who doesn't like mac and cheese on the trail, okay?
You gotta bring a college
No, I will teach you how to cook on a campfire, son. You can take powdered milk, throw it in your water, and cook it that way, and you'll have stuff. You can also buy macaroni and cheese that's got everything in it that's all ready to go. Squeeze the old nasty thing in there and stir it up, and you got mac and cheese, man. Okay? So, mac and cheese. What are those? Pistachios, nuts. Pound for pound, those are the best things that you can eat. Okay? And any kind of nut. I love to take those with me because that's good trail food. You know, it keeps you up, keeps carbs in there, keeps things going. Trail mix, yes. We have trail mix. Trail mix is really good because you can be hiking along and throwing this stuff down your throat and going on, and it makes you feel good. You're happy. At least I am when I'm chucking this stuff in my mouth. You know, I love M&Ms. M&M's good. Chocolate, good. Okay? You know, peanuts, good. Raisins, good. These are all good things for you, you know? Well, maybe not, but at any rate, they taste good, okay? The cook kit. Okay, this is, it needs to be simple and light, okay? Remember we were talking about the colander there? Okay, well, if that lid's got a few holes in it, you can tip it over and dump your water with that. So it's all part of it. And this one's set up with an alcohol stove and a little bottle of alcohol in there. So when they get to where they unpack, set up their stove, pop their water in, and go. They're moving along. This is a different type of stove that is available. I have one of these as well, so we can bring that out one of the times that we're dinking around, and you can see how this works. This is a liquid fuel stove. Okay, liquid fuel means that little canister in the back's got a liquid fuel in it. Usually it's Coleman fuel. I like to burn that. And you pump it up, on the end of the tank there, it's got a little pump. And when you pump that up, you prime the other stove, which means you let a little bit of fuel out, and then you light it. And when you do that, it warms all the metal up. And then when you crank the valve on here and let the fuel come through and relight it, it'll burn up. And it will give you like awesome amount of heat. Mine is like an inferno. I mean, it's like wide open. There is no simmering on this stove. It's just like go. You're gonna have heat. Okay, so what do I need and how do I carry it? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, especially in future presentations. We're going to talk more about what do I need to survive out there? What do I need to keep myself hydrated? What do I need to make some food? You know, and we're gonna go through going out, making a fire, cooking some food, you know, learning how to use that fire for our best advantage. Yes, Wyatt? What, buddy?
I said I think the basic thing would be if we get all sorted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we need a pack, right? Or bag, you know. Grandma Gateway, when she did the AT, she had a duffel bag, and she carried all of her equipment in this duffel bag. Over 2,000 miles this lady walked. And how old was she? Like 70s? Yeah, she was in her 70s. And she's walking this trail, you know, carrying her gear, stopping for the night. Now, what do you think her gear was like? Think it was all these really heavy things? Well, she wore Keds sneakers, okay? So it was the most lightest weight canvas sneaker that they had at the time. And that's what she wore. She brought a tarp along with her. She had other blankets and things with her, but only what she needed, not anything extra. She had what they call the Gateway Cape, okay? She had this rain poncho that she developed and made herself, and they sell them today as a copy of that cape, and it's an awesome piece of rain gear. She also had a little umbrella, and she did some other things that were kind of cool. So she figured out what she needed to survive. What I need to survive and what you need to survive might be something different. You might need something other than what I need, or I might need something other than what you need. But we're going to figure that out in this course, and we're going to figure it out. Now, the basic needs, the basic kit that I gave you there, anybody can survive off that. If you find you're not using something, toss it out, don't carry it. Okay, if you don't know how to use it, it's probably better off not having it in there until you know how to use it. Okay, so how do I carry it? I'm going to put it in my pack, I'm going to put it on my back, I'm going to hike on down the road. Now, here is a suggestion for a small kit from the Pocket Outdoor Survival Guide. Okay, you're going to find that there's a lot of these little survival guides out there. I like reading them because sometimes they make me laugh. It's like, really? Have you really tried this, dude? You know, this is going to get you killed, you know? So discard that one, okay? We'll go over something that's actually relevant and something that we can use. So in this thing, this guy's got a tube tent, some matches, a flashlight, a whistle, a mirror, a first aid kit, fire starters, emergency blanket, 550 paracord. That was that cordage that we talked about. This is parachute cord, and it's rated for 550 pounds. That's why the 550 comes in. Insect repellent. That's a good thing. Water purification tablets, and a pocket survival guide. Of course, he's suggesting that you buy his pocket survival guide and have it in your pack. Yes, Marcus. Why would you take a mirror? Okay, well, there's plenty of good reasons. If I'm walking along, oh, man, I just hit myself in the head with a stick. Can I see that? I need that mirror. Oh, that looks bad. I need my first aid kit.
Or you could use it if you're outside and have a friend, I guess you could say.
Okay. I have an answer for you. I have an answer for you. Have you ever done a tick check? Have you ever done a tick check? Look for ticks on your body? Only in your hair. Do you know where they get? They get to your nether regions too, brother. Do you want your camping buddy looking at your nether regions looking for ticks? No, I want my mirror. Oh, yes. No ticks. We're good. Okay? So mirror is really good. Mirror is good. Okay, I'll tell you, I'm going to get real with you on things like that because you're going to run into it and you need to know what's going on. We can't hide away from it, you know, and be shy about things. You got a tick on you, we got to get that thing off, okay? It's not going to be good for you.
And you gotta know that that tick might go down to your genitals. That's pretty bad. What if you didn't know until like the next time you go to the bathroom? That's
Good reason for a mirror, huh?
And then we already lashed on, then it's fry it off.
No, we're not putting a tick key down there. Tweezers, okay? Tweezers. We're going to get the tick out with tweezers. Tick key requires a little bit more finesse. All right, we're going to leave it at that. We're moving on here. Okay, pocket first aid kit. Sterile dressing. Okay, what does that mean? Okay, but a sterile dressing is going to come prepackaged, okay, and it's not...
Well, then skip the first thing I said.
Yeah, you're right. You're on the right track. Okay, you were talking about normal dressings, untreated or unsterile dressings. Okay, and you could buy those too. Roller gauze, you know, a lot of it is not sterilized. And Ace Wrap, anybody know what those are? Little stretchy thing? Yeah, you know, you get a twisted knee or something and they're going to wrap it up with this Ace Wrap. I recommend having that, okay? It's good stuff, okay? If you start with a mechanical injury, like a twisted ankle or wrist because you lifted something too heavy, it's good to be able to wrap that up and support it. Okay, 1-inch bandages, okay? I'm talking about a 1-inch wide, 3-inch long little Band-Aid, okay? Got to cover them boo-boos. I can't remember how many of those things I handed out in one summer when I worked at Kimball Camp. Every kid needed a Band-Aid. I mean, that fixed everything. Did you know that? Band-Aid for a kid, that fixes everything. Oh, I'm up good now. You know, it's all right. That's cool. I don't need to do anything else. I'm moving on. So antibiotic ointment. Okay. Who knows what antibiotic means? No. It gets rid of bacteria. It kills bacteria. Okay, so if I get a cut and I wash it off with water, I'm going to put some antibiotic ointment on there and then slap that little Band-Aid on there, and then I'm going to be good to go again. Okay? So, but if I don't do that, I have a chance of infection. Yes, Wyatt?
I'm more used to the idea of getting isopropyl alcohol or hydrogen peroxide, not
Okay, let me give you a clue about alcohol. Little kids in alcohol, oh no. They just scream, man. It lights them up. They're like, wow! Water. Water is the key. Hydrogen peroxide, that actually does more damage to the skin than it does in cleansing this thing. So it's actually going to heal better if you don't do that. I would recommend honey or sugar on a cut because they're better. Honey is a antibacterial, microbiotics. Okay, it's very good stuff. Duct tape. Duct tape is the champ, okay? If you got a big cut and I duct tape it shut for you, we're going to get you to the hospital, okay? If I don't, you might bleed out, okay? So duct tape, good thing to have in your medical kit. Butterfly strips, what are those? We following around little flowers, looking at bugs? No, it's a piece of bandage. It's about this long. Some of them call them steri strips too. And yeah, those are like butterflies right there. Yep. So you put them over a cut and they close the wound. Okay, butterfly strips. Tweezers. Back to the problem with the tick. Okay, got to have the tweezers in there. Safety pins. What are those good for? Lock picking. If I injured my arm and I really needed to immobilize it, okay, I needed to have it up here, and I don't have something else to create a sling or whatever, you can take some safety pins and pin it to my shirt here, and then my sleeve is going to work for me. I'm going to teach you how to improvise, okay? That is the biggest key in learning to survive, is how to improvise things. So safety pins are a good thing. Now, there's another use in one of my medical books about safety pins, and they're talking about taking your tongue and safety pinning it to your lip right here so you don't swallow it if you were in convulsions. So we aren't going there, okay?
your convulsion, you would just use that safety pin and do that in the middle of your convulsion, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting near somebody's mouth if they're convulsing, okay, if I can help it. I don't want to get bit, okay, not a good thing. So I'll put a stick in there. We'll do anything we can to stop them from swallowing their tongue or choking themselves, but I'm not using safety pins on their lips either. Okay, anyways, moving on. Okay, Bear Grylls. Anybody know that guy? He's kind of a joke, actually, but he has put out some decent gear. This is one of his little pocket survival kits, which is, gives you an idea. You can put things together in a little tiny package, put it in your pocket, and you'll have something for later. Okay? Tools. Now these are the most important things. Having tools with you means that you can construct stuff, you can build things, you can build a debris shelter if your tarp was lost. You can build a chair because I don't want to sit on the ground. I'm going to make myself a chair. Okay, I can build anything out there if I have the right tools. A knife is the most important tool for you to have. Why do I say that? Because it's the hardest to recreate out in the wild. Okay, what does it take to make a steel knife out there? You got to build a forge. You got to find all the stuff. You got to smelt the iron and make it into steel, and you got to do this, you got to do. No, have it with you. The best knife that you can have, I don't care what brand it is the one that you have in your hand. Okay? That is the most valuable survival tool you can have, is your knife. So are we going to go cutting up rocks with it? No. I'm going to save this blade for proper stuff. Okay? I might have to cut cordage, I might have to split wood, I might have to do a lot of other things, but I'm not going to use my knife for dumb stuff. No. You can, but I wouldn't recommend it. You got to have the right kind of rock, and it's got to be really flat. It's way better to carry a little sharpening stone with you, and then you can use a leather belt to strop it. And Jahia is going to be helping us learn some of these things when we get to the portion on tools, where we're talking about tool safety, how to use a knife, how to use an axe, because you're going to need to learn how to use all these things. I'm telling you, I'm ashamed of modern day parents sometimes, because they have not allowed their children to learn how to use a knife. They have not taught them how to use a knife. They have not taught them how to use an axe. And most kids out there, I will not hand you something unless you can prove to me that you're not going to cut me with it. Okay? That's going to be the way it's going to work. I'm going to show you, then you're going to do. I show, you do. Okay? Wyatt?
I was, all you said was I'm ashamed of modern day parents and all this. I was thinking, well, at least my parents, like, the least they did really, we didn't really go camping, but they did say, like, in the middle of the winter, wear a coat even in the car, because if the car breaks down in the middle of the night, then you're not just sitting there like 20 minutes later, like, oh.
Yeah, wandering off out into the winter with your t-shirt thinking your car is going to keep you safe is a problem. Okay, that's another discussion. So, tools. One of the most valuable tools besides your knife is going to be some type of a saw. I like to have a folding saw because it fold up, goes in my pack, they're nice and lightweight, and they are truly invaluable when I'm processing wood. If I want a fire, I'm going to go for a saw over an axe every time. When I'm splitting that wood, I like the axe, okay? Each tool has a job. It's got its own specific job. And if you go tool heavy, like I do, and I know Haya does, he's tool heavy, Matt's tool heavy, okay? You got all the things that you need to do the job. Okay, I've got my axe, I've got my knife, I've got my saw, okay, and with that I can pretty much build about anything. Machete, I love these, okay, big blades, that's me, I like them. They're good, but they have a proper setting, okay? If you're limbing stuff, if you're trimming, if you're moving through the jungle, that's the thing to have. In the winter here, you want an axe. Okay, you don't want to try and do everything with a machete. They're usually lightweight, and they won't produce enough energy to split the wood that you need. Yes, Wyatt, you had your hand up.
I was just about to say, you are basically set in a jungle, but I was thinking if we have one in South America, that was probably a must-have.
Oh, absolutely. Rubber boots that come up to here and a machete, that's what you want in the jungle. That way the snakes can't bite you, and you can hack everything else up. Yes? Yes, Matt.
And you could break the blade of those fairly easily.
Yeah, some people can. Some people have a hard time not breaking them or cutting themselves. Anyways, Marcus. Okay, well, you'll think of it later. All right. This is like almost an axe. Okay, this is called a pack axe. It's a little teeny tiny thing. It does the job, okay? I can split wood with this, not by using the axe, but I put the axe on the wood and I take a stick, hit the back of the axe, and I can split it that way. That's what that's good for. Lightweight, it'll get you through. My favorite choice? No. Okay, I use a much bigger axe. One that looks more like this one. But these are the three main tools that you should be thinking about having in your pack. And anytime you're going out in the wilderness, these things are must-have. Cordage. Oh, what is cordage, Jim? Okay, cordage would be rope, okay? This is that 550 paracord that I was talking about. Okay, it comes in 50-foot lengths and 100-foot lengths, and you can cut it up any way you want to. I typically make myself 25 to 30 feet long piece of rope that I use for my ridge line. That's how I put my tarp up. I put a ridge line up there and I suspend my tarp from the ridge line. And we're going to get into that. You guys are going to have experience using these things, and we're going to get you some of this stuff. So, what is this? It is a compass, actually it's a compass rose. And this has the cardinal directions on it. So what are the 4 cardinal directions? Read them. North, south, east, and west. Okay? We need to get familiar with that, because if we're going to travel around anywhere, we need to understand what direction that we're going in. And if I understand what direction I'm going in, I know what direction I came from. So if I needed to get back there, I could take and do a 180-degree turn and head back to where I was coming from, right? And my compass will keep me on a straight line. That's all a compass is good for, keep you on a straight line. So no matter what angle you pick for what they call an azimuth, you can walk that azimuth because you got your compass. That's what it's good for. That's what it does. A compass is awesome if it's combined with a map. Okay? If I have the map and it shows me all the different land features that are on it, I can set it down and orientate my compass to my map. This doesn't make sense right now, that's fine. It will in the future. That means that I'm going to, if I know that this way is north, which it is, I'm going to set my map down, because maps, when they're drawn up, the top of that map is north. If you didn't know that or not, it's always north. Okay, so I'm going to face it in this direction. I'm going to put my compass on there, and there's a little compass grid that's on the map that I'm going to match my compass to that compass grid, and if they're both saying north, I'm good. I know what direction everything is. I can lay out a path on this. But we're going to talk about navigation in another series. Now this is called a topographical map. Okay, and this one actually has the land features that are pulled into it. Now you notice that there's some hills and some valleys here, right? And as you get higher up, the lines get closer together. Okay, because that means boom, 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 boom. If we had this in a 3D thing, you'd see a cone forming here, okay, and then the top of the mountain. So that's what a topographical map does. On a topographical map, it tells you how far that is between each line, so you can start calculating how far you're going to be moving. If I'm looking at this and I want to get to that lake, I'm going to probably want to avoid some of those really tall hills and shoot down one of those valleys and just go right to my lake, okay? That way it's a little easy peasy on the walking. Having a compass is great. Having a flashlight with your compass is awesome. What if it starts getting dark? Can you read your compass in the dark? If it doesn't have lumens in it, you can't. Okay, so you're going to need to be able to see, and you're going to be able to need to see what's out in front of you, right? Who wants to stumble over a twig out there? And you do, of course. All right, so if you get lost, remember this acronym, okay? STOP. What's that spell? Stop. Okay, so if you get lost, remember stop. Go ahead, observe and plan. Sit, think, observe, and plan. Let's think about that. Now, if I'm wandering around and I'm lost, I'm saying, oh man, I don't really know where I am. What do you think the first thing I should be doing? Sit down, okay? I'm going to sit down for a minute. I'm going to think about what's going on. I'm going to look around and observe my surroundings. Do I see the trail that I should be seeing or not? Okay? If I don't see my trail, I need to make a plan. I might need to stay here, because now if I wander any farther, I'm going to wander outside of the search zone, and it's going to be harder to find me. It might be a lot longer. It might be a lot longer. So I'm going to make a plan. What am I going to do? I'm going to set up camp right here. That's my plan. Okay? So you got to remember, the first step to being rescued is the one that you take. Okay? What do I mean by that? If you're going to go out camping, and Chloe, if you're going to go camping, What should you do before you leave?
Give your friend coordinates of where you plan on being, and then they'll go to the coordinates.
Absolutely correct. Give somebody a plan, an idea of where you're going to be. He answered for her. That she was going to say that. So, at any rate, you need the first step you need to take is the one for your own rescue. And how do we do that? I'm going to tell somebody where I'm going. I always tell Elaine where I'm going when I'm camping. I don't want to be out there and, oh, I don't know where he went. He's out there somewhere. He's in the woods. That's good, huh? Yeah, they're going to find me quick on that.
But like you could be like buried in the middle of the snow and you'd be like, I know exactly where this is.
Well, how do I do that, though? By
By being
paying attention to my surroundings, okay? So, here's another little acronym I want to share with you. This is called PLAN. What was that last part of STOP? Plan. Okay, well, this is what you do with PLAN. Okay, PLAN is protection. Ensure that you are protected from any harm. Okay, in other words, maybe it's civil unrest. Okay, maybe the world's coming apart and I need to make sure that the bad guys don't get me. I need to make sure that my protection is in place. Okay, and how do I do that? Well, I get my big stick. I feel better with a big stick when I'm in the woods by myself. You know what I'm saying? It makes you feel pretty good. Okay, I got my stick. Something comes in here, I'm gonna swat it. Okay, got my stick. That's my protection. Location. You need to draw attention to your position for rescuers. In other words, I'm gonna put up, a big flag. I'm gonna have a big fire going on. I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna let them know where I am. Because this is where I am, guys. Come get me. Yes, why?
Or, you know how you said make a big fire, right? Well, then you could just start deforestation until we see a strange dot of no trees. And then they'll check out why is there just this strange circle with no trees? And they'll check it out.
But Jim is alive.
Yeah.
Let's go back to reality here. Jim wants to be alive. Can I plant another tree? Yes, I can. So I'm not going to worry about it. In fact, one woman was lost, and that's how they found her. She set the whole flippin' pine tree ablaze. They're like, whoa, what's that? Here she was. Got a marshmallow? She was ready to be saved, okay? But that's how they found her. She drew attention to what she was doing. Location, location, location. Acquisition. Look for food and water and ration supplies. Now, when I'm walking through the woods, I'm like a scavenger, okay? I look for stuff. Oh, it's fire tinder. I'm going to take some of that. Ooh, berries. I'm going to take some of those. You need to acquire these things while you're moving, okay? Don't think I will go back to it because you're already lost, okay? You might not be able to find your way back to the berry patch. Besides, the bear might be there by then. Okay, so acquisition. Get it while you can get it. Navigation. That's our N. Okay, good navigation will keep you en route. In other words, if I'm walking into the woods, I should be looking at my compass before I walk in. After I walk in the middle of this forest and I walked around for a while, if I have not looked at my compass before I went in, I don't know where I came from. So area awareness, okay? And looking at things. Don't just walk in there with your head down, Oh, these are nice leaves on the ground. You got to be looking around. Oh, the trail goes off that way. And it also goes off that way. I know there's some water down there, so I'm going to go off this one and see if I can get down to the water. If not, I will come back. There's a lot of things you can do not to get lost. A lot of books on survival that are out there. Okay, Wilderness Survival for Dummies. It's actually a pretty good book. I have it. Okay, I've got a lot of Dave Canterbury's books. I've got just about every book he's ever written, and he's got a new one out that I got to get though. And these are good. This is a good read. Okay, you can learn a lot, and the more knowledge that you can pack in here, the better off you're going to be. Why is that? What was our first survival priority?
Brain.
Our brain. Yes, man.
The guy you went to South America with, one of his sayings was, the more you pack up here, the less you pack back here.
That's true. Morris Kohansky, he's gone now, but he was a great Canadian wilderness guide and teacher. And that was his thing too. The more skills and abilities I can have, the less things that I need to have with me, because I can create them in the wild. Okay, wilderness living. Now we talked about survival, okay? Does survival sound like it's a fun thing? No. No, absolutely not. Survival is not fun. It stinks, okay? It really does. It is not good. Wilderness living, on the other hand, here's the definition that I've given wilderness living. Just a second, Wyatt. To be familiar and at ease with living in an uninhabited and uncultivated region as one were in one's own home. Okay, I should be as comfortable out there in the woods as I am when I'm hanging out with the cats in my easy chair. Okay? So, I can do that. I have done that. I will continue to do that, and I will teach you to do that. Wyatt?
What?
Nothing. They were just wondering if you're still there. I'm glad that you are. We're almost done here. All right, so wilderness living. Survival sucks. Wilderness living is awesome. Okay, because rather than survive, I'd rather thrive. Okay? So, these guys look like they're doing okay out there, don't they? They could be on a survival problem, scenario. Hey, they could be lost, but are they worried about it? They got all the right gear. They're hanging out. Forced survival camp. What are you looking at? Oh, yeah, they got food. We're good. We can keep the bears away with the apple. How far can you throw the apple? I don't know. How fast can the bear run? How fast can you run, by the way? I can run faster than you. We're good. All right, so did I tell you there was going to be a quiz? Oh, I didn't tell you there was going to be a quiz. There's always a quiz. You're gonna be okay with this. So what are the 4 main priorities of survival? Not you. I heard shelter, water, fire. What's the last one? I heard it from the phone. Food. Food. Anybody hungry, by the way? We getting hungry? I think we're going to make some food here in a minute. All right, so what are the 4 main priorities again? And fire. Very good. Okay, so number 1, shelter. Why do we put shelter as number 1?
If you have no place to stay, then you're just
Well, if I don't have a shelter, I've got to shiver underneath this tree, right? Is that a good thing? No. I'm going to put myself up some kind of shelter. I don't like rain on my head. When I used to have hair, I didn't mind it so much. But now it's like, bouncing off my head. It's annoying, It's really annoying. So, what's the next one up? Fire. If I get my shelter set up, I want a fire in front of it, okay? I want to stay warm. Water. I can't dehydrate. I need to have my water, okay? So I'm going to look for a water source. I'm going to collect my water, and then I'm going to purify my water, and then I'm going to drink my water. I'm going to be happy in my shelter, okay? What's the last one? Food. Okay. unless I'm going to be running around chasing squirrels or something, I'm going to need to bring something in my pack to eat, right? Squirrels are not on the menu anyways. So, anyways, we gotta bring some food with us. So those, you guys passed the quiz. Whoa! Whoa! All you had to remember was 4 things, and you passed the quiz. Wyatt. Yep. In my pack, when I start going through my pack with you guys and showing you some of the things, I got a little miniature fishing kit. It's awesome. Okay, I love to fish, so I got a fishing kit in there, and it's going with me everywhere I go. So awesome. Now you're ready to take the next step. So what's the next step?
The next quiz.
The next quiz. No more quizzes. We're done with the program actually for tonight. So the next step is to, next month, we're going to have another little presentation, and it's going to be advanced from this one. You've already covered this information, so we're not going to cover it again. We're going to be moving on. And let's take a look at our syllabus and see what that says. So today, we covered psychology and physiology. Okay, that's what's going on in our head and what's going on with our body. Thermal regulation, in other words, how does our body heat controlled? The core 4 of survival and the rule of 3s. Those are the things that we covered extensively today. We covered some other things as well, but we will get into, I wanted to make sure we covered these. Now in February, when we get here, what day are we going to be here? What was that? The 5th. At what time? 5 o'clock, okay? So, February 5th at 5 o'clock, we're going to talk about kit mentality and organization. What's a kit? Yeah, kit. What? Your pack, your assembled gear. That's your kit. Okay, that's kind of a British thing, but it works, you know. I like it. So kit mentality, it means how I think about kits, how I put them together for myself. How many kits have I got, Elaine? They change. They always change. I'll try something new, or I get a new piece of gear, and it'll change my kit. I love it. You know, I'm a gear junkie, I know. So the kit, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to there in your appendix is a basic kit. Down here, it's talking about 6x8 tarp, some stakes, some line, and all the other things. You guys can go over that. But that's what the kit is going to pertain to. And then we're going to talk about different packs and haversacks. Okay? Those are different ways to carry your gear into the wild. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in February. As we move on, like March, April, May, we're going to talk about shelters, tarpology, in other words, the study of tarps, cordage and knots, because by March, we're going to be outside. Okay, we're going out, we're setting up a tarp, we're doing this, we're going to have some fun, we're going to play some games. Yeah, you can play games when you're setting up a tarp. Dude, I worked at Kimball Camp. You have to make this fun. These little kids will eat you alive if it's not fun. Okay? So, in April, we're going to be doing fire making, fire safety, tool safety, knife and axe skills, first aid, and how to use it. Gee, why do you think that learning how to use a knife and first aid are in the same grouping? Whoa! Somebody might get it. Yeah. We'll ask Mr. Matt why that's necessary. Why does his wife carry a full-on trauma kit everywhere that he goes? So, anyway, by May, we're going to talk about water and water procurement and treatment. So in May, I'm thinking about taking a little hike. Did you know there's a river over here? Yeah, off yonder through the woods, there's a river. Okay, and if you walk down this way to the, what is it, Modern? The trash places down there. Yeah, Modern Waste or whatever it is these days. It used to be Republic. there's a trail that goes right over to the river. Okay, so we're going to do a little hike. We're going to go over and we're going to get some water from the river, and then we're going to treat that water. And you guys can have a taste of treated raw water. Yeah. Okay. Wild water. That's what they called it in South America. Don't drink the black water, Jim. Okay, so in June, we're going to talk about food. Okay? The cook kit, campfire cooking, and a hygiene kit. Why do you think I put hygiene in with food? Wash your hands. Keep your hands clean, or don't get in my trail mix. Okay, and then in July, we're going to be planning a camp out, which will be out here in the woods. And by then, we will be all ready, because we'll be doing our field testing. And that's where a lot of these deliverables can happen. They can all happen in the same day. And so just go over this material and take a look at it. You know, read it, make some notes, do whatever you got to do. But this is the real deal here. Because we're having fun now. But if it happened that you were put into a survival situation, maybe your family is put in a survival situation, and you know what to do, awesome. Because they're going to live. Because of the knowledge that you acquired, because you thought this was going to be fun. All right? So that's all we got for tonight. I think we're going to go ahead and we'll head back over to the fellowship hall, and we will cook some food up. Anybody up for that? All right, let's do it.